Hey guys, welcome to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today I just kind of want to watch some gay shit. Water Lilies is a 2007 film by acclaimed director Celine Sciamma. You might remember Sciamma from earlier in our channel from the 2014 drama Girlhood. She's also, of course, the director of the acclaimed 2019 film Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I just randomly got another Sciamma bug and just wanted to watch another one of her films. And there's only two left, so I don't really know anything about Water Lilies other than it's about a young French girl who falls in love with a synchronized swimmer in her high school, I think. I hope it's high school. They seem young. They seem she seems really young. This is Sciamma's debut feature. I think she directed it right out of college, which is just fucking crazy to me. Yeah, I can't believe she wrote this script for Water Lilies while she was in college. I mean, I can believe it, but she's too good, man. She's too good. Anyways, I really want to watch Water Lilies, so let's go and do that. And if you enjoy these videos, like and subscribe. Why not? You get to watch more gay shit like this. Ooh. Gotta love the soundscape that Sciamma creates. Always the best. From the two movies that I've seen. It's a wonderful balance she shows between absolute restraint and just like incredibly overwhelming wall of sound. Oh, I'm nervous. I love how rough this starts. You like are getting all amped up for it to be like a big, huge presentation, but it starts on these little babies who just can't swim at all. What a fun piece for them to be swimming to. How odd. You know, you really can't appreciate the majesty of these sort of things until you've been in lockdown for a literal year. Sort of makes sense now. There's our girl. She's into it. A little glow in her eyes already. Oh, I miss that feeling, seeing like light cascading off of waves. Jesus. I hope to visit a swimming pool again sometime soon. Floriane. In like 2 seconds, they already have a dynamic. She is shy and introverted. Floriane is a queen bee. Amazing. You'll love to see it.
Ça va? Ouais, ouais. J'attends que mon maillot sèche.
Really? Oh, she's so awkward. How old are these actresses? I just gotta check.
Ton ami dedans? Il y avait la queue pour ses cheveux.
She has body image issues. I can relate to that. We can all relate to that. Come on. 2021. None of us feel good in our own skin. Oh. God, they literally start out this movie so young. It's like you just have to like trust the filmmaker, but they start out so young for this to be like a budding romance or discovering your own sexuality kind of movie. Like usually they cast like 24-year-olds in these roles, and maybe, you know, maybe some of them are actually 24 or whatever, but like this is such a young threshold to be exploring sexuality, but true to life.
J'ai pas mis trop de rouge à lèvres parce que je voulais pas lui en mettre de partout. Je vais pas coucher tout de suite, hein. Franchement, embrasser, je suis grave en retard.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm not sure about Maui's polo, though. Literally me at parties, dancing alone, awkwardly, but exuberantly. Oh, boy. Was she throwing up? I hate that. I hate how good Sciamma is with just like not spelling out anything and just leaving it to your attention to understand what's going on.
Quoi? Je t'ai vu l'autre jour au spectacle. J'aimerais bien faire l'entraînement.
Forward, young lady, forward.
Un chewing-gum?
I love this height disparity. Hella awk.
Faudrait que quelqu'un me fasse entrer. Ça va? Est-ce que j'ai plus de la gueule? Sûr?
Girl. What a bitch, but what a flirt at the same time. The duality of high school parties. Ugh. Heterosexual kisses. Ugh. That's so awkward for her that she has to kiss a guy. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Si tu me fais rentrer, je te rendrai un service aussi. Quoi? Ce que tu veux.
I'll say this for Marie. I mean, she may seem kind of like a quiet or reserved protagonist, but she is more persistent than I am IRL. Like, she came up with a tactic like that. I'm in real life, I'm very, very reserved in how I play out situations. Saying something as bold as "I'll owe you anything" is not usually in my repertoire. I love this musical selection. It's like so un-American. I don't know. It's like not playing to like their age, it's playing to their emotions.
Viens dans l'eau, tu verras mieux.
You know what? I mean, you get a sense of this from Portrait of a Lady on Fire, definitely, and in some aspects of Girlhood. But from that shot, I'm kind of like, is Celine Sciamma a formalist? Does she like think about like the mise en scène for her shots in kind of a very structured way? You'd kind of think based on like the subjects of her films that she'd be kind of like looser and more like guerrilla, but she seems to be kind of very has a very classical eye for structuring her shots or composing her shots. Girl, put on some goggles. Your eyes are gonna burn. Dude, I freaking love this. Look at Celine Sciamma thinking she's honing in on the admiration of the human physique.
Je sais pas comment tu fais. Moi, je les écrase. Jusqu'à que ce soit une bouillie dégueu. Ah non, non. Tous les mecs regardent quand une fille mange une banane à la cantine.
Dude, how are you gonna go up against your captain like this?
Enfin, remarque, toi, tu t'en fous. T'es passé de l'autre côté. Ouais, c'est vrai. J'adore ça.
Yeah, take that, young Natalie Portman.
J'ai trouvé ce que tu vas faire pour moi.
Quoi?
Quoi? Tu vas venir me chercher chez moi ce soir.
Is she gonna give her like a wrong address? Ooh, it's so weird sometimes seeing like the architecture that Sciamma shoots. I kind of get a sense that she doesn't really like the look of Paris. Like everything looks like I don't know, like utilitarian architecture. Like I won't say like brutalist, but it's all like identical houses or housing projects or concrete. It always looks like such shit.
C'est Marie.
What a bitch, God.
Attends-moi ici.
Oh my God. How dare you? How dare you? Oh, I love that detail. Is that the right hand though? I love that she has like on her hand. She still has the address written on, but I'm not sure if it's the hand that Floriane actually wrote it on. I'm sure it is. Celine Sciamma knows better than me. I'm just an idiot. This is my first time watching this movie. God, shut the hell up, Hank.
Tu m'accompagnes en liquide, ok? Viens demain si tu veux. À la piscine, 7h du mat.
Oh, poor baby. I like love this. I must take notes. I don't think she's doing like a great job like winning the affections of Floriane, obviously, but like definitely something to take note on in terms of a protagonist or a character that puts themselves out there and is willing to risk for their desires, and not in like a big ostentatious way. It's not like, you know, a superhero, Marvel superhero, like fighting a bad guy, but it's a character expressing desire in a clear and functional way. See what I mean about Celine Sciamma being a formalist? She's a little gopher. She's a little pip. This is Great Expectations.
Tu veux un massage, Floriane?
C'est bon.
Allez, ça va te détendre avant la compétition.
Elle fait encore la pute, ta copine.
Why are
C'est pas ma copine. Tant mieux pour toi.
her own crew is judging her? I hate that. Why is high school so hard? Why can't people just like each other? See, this would be like extraneous in an American movie, but it packs so much information about like her place in the high school hierarchy. Like in an American film, they'd have dialogue as they always do. Somebody saying, "Oh, she's weird. What a nerd." They definitely say out loud that they're checking their armpits for hair in this scene, if they had it at all.
C'est quoi ce travail, Natacha? J'ai pas eu le temps. Lui dira ça, ton mari? J'ai pas eu le temps.
Yeah, definitely. God, early 2000s
Bon, on est
sucked.
dans l'eau dans 5 minutes.
I love how wet and shiny her eyes are. I don't know if this actress is making it up or the cinematographer and the director are helping her out, but like, she looks absolutely smitten.
7-3, 7-0.
I love the balance in that of like showing it their like appeal as being apparent but also artificial, like being in Marie's like eyes and her perspective, her feelings of attraction to these girls is genuine, but from the performative aspect, from their perspective, it's an artifice. It's something that they've made up in order to gain like, you know, a better report, a better score. There's all these like tensions pulling at each other in these scenes where that like make no indication that that's what they're about.
Tu viens me chercher demain soir? Comme l'autre jour? Ok. Je te fais la gueule.
I'm that friend. What is this freaking game that they're playing? Disgusting. Kids are so stupid. Jesus Christ.
Merci, je vous le ramène.
Ah bon?
See, look at this. This looks like a Lynn Ramsey shot. Very, very composed.
François, je promène mon chien.
Dude, are all French boys like complete bastards? I can understand if you're not interested, but like the total disdain he shows. Okay, now I can say in terms of costume design, I understand that Marie didn't go home to change, but the
Je reviens dans 1 heure.
the insistence, it's like real life and stuff, but the insistence on actually having them wear the same
Je
clothes
viendrai plus te chercher.
on subsequent days is just lovely. It's like actually a good costume design decision, and from my perspective, she's not in an age yet where she would care about presenting herself in different looks.
Attends. J'ai pas couché avec lui. C'est pas mes affaires. J'ai jamais couché avec personne. C'est pas ce qu'on dit.
And I like, oh god, I gotta
Je te
pause.
jure, Marie.
I don't know. I'm not gonna pause. I love that there's like a weird entanglement in their relationship where it's not like she's just like fallen in love with her or anything. She might have, but there's also the tension based on what her other friends have said about her, that she cares about her reputation and she doesn't want to be perceived as like a slut or anything. And so you don't know what's the basis of their friendship or their relationship. Are they connecting because they have like social pulls, or because they have a genuine connection? And can it just be both?
On coince dans les vestiaires et tout. Et comme tout le monde le kiffe, j'ai pas pu m'empêcher de le faire pour leur faire le boulot de ces connasses. Les autres, c'est des connasses. Elles m'aiment pas, alors je les aime pas. C'est simple.
That sucks.
Les filles, elles m'aiment pas.
I want to think that, you know, being on a team
Enfin bon,
helps
tu vois, le type de
form
la
your
piscine.
bonds with each other, but whatever.
Et enfin, le type, il avait sorti sa bite, tu vois. Et il me l'a montré, ce con. T'as de la chance, Marie. Beaucoup de chance.
And so in her own weird way, she relates to Marie being an outsider as well. You wouldn't know it looking at her in her queen bee status, but on the inside, Floriane feels like an outsider. She feels like nobody likes her
Salut.
or understands her.
Salut.
She's ostracized by
J'ai pas sommeil.
the girls in her life and sexualized by the men or the boys.
Quand on y pense, le plafond, c'est sûrement le dernier truc que voient plein de gens.
What a flirt.
Au moins 90% des gens qui meurent, tu crois pas?
Do they die face up?
C'est sûr. En plus, quand tu meurs, la dernière chose que tu vois, elle reste imprimée dans ton œil. Un peu comme une photo.
Celine Sciamma is like, this was me when I was 15.
Imagine le nombre de personnes qui ont des plafonds dans les yeux.
She is so into that.
Je regarderai plus jamais le plafond comme avant.
I think this is something that I just love about queer love stories, is that they already have so many like social barriers or whatever. Like when they like find each other, they can't be coy about it. They've just got to like go forward and express their, not all, but generally I like that, at least in terms of the courtship phase. What did she throw out? Oh, that's too far. You've gone too far. Intense. These two girls' gaydar was so strong. They just like found each other. Don't do it! Ah! 10 years before Call Me By Your Name. 10 years! Yeah, that was a bad idea. Oh, sleepy eyes, Adele. I feel you, girl. I truly do. It's like being on Instagram.
Si jamais il sait que je suis pas une vraie salope, c'est fini. T'as qu'à faire du cheval. Le cheval, c'est pour avorter. Avec un vieux qui me connaît pas. C'est horrible. En 10 minutes, c'est torché.
I like how even though she's like the older, more experienced one, they both still talk like kids. They have like stupid kid plans, and they initiate flirting in weird kid ways or weird teenage ways of like asking each other to go on activities where one of them loses their virginity. It's like a weird excuse to like ask a girl you like to go to the club with you by telling her she should escort you to find an older man to have sex with you so that you can break up with your fake boyfriend. Just ladies be coming up with all sorts of excuses. If you want to dance with her, just dance with her. I like that little twist she did. In a weird way, it's kind of like mirroring the synchronized swimming. Okay, let's talk color schemes. This and Girlhood both have they both have their own big set piece, like color theory dominated scenes, like music and color blending together. This one clearly has club music and red, and Girlhood has Rihanna and I believe it was blue. Why is she not into it? Now I'm getting confused. Haenel turns it on so easily. It's like so weird watching how awkward she is in interviews, like IRL. She's like just a weirdo in real life, but like in terms of acting, she can like create this like Regina George character really easily. And it's funny because like the Regina George character she creates is also in itself an artifice that character is creating.
Pour dire à ma copine qu'il faut qu'elle se dépêche. Parce qu'il y a son papa qui l'attend. Salut papa.
Just walking through freeways. Oh god, they're so in love. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my heart.
Merci.
Yo.
C'est mal ce con.
Oh, they're just so in love. Oh my god.
Je voudrais te demander un truc. C'est pas très normal. On s'en fout d'être normal.
Wow. Maria's like, clear eyes, full hearts can't lose.
Faudrait que ce soit toi, Marie.
Oh my god!
Faudrait que...
This movie is so organic.
Tu me parles d'un coup, comme ça, ce sera vrai.
It's weird, because, like, I don't know, like...
Pas faire ça.
This is like such a... It's like Oh man, that's hard. Oh man. Oh god. Oh Jesus. This kind of narrative is so hard to navigate. Like, I think it's easier when you have like a narrative with two characters who are queer and kind of like know it and are like navigating like a harsh society. Like, I think it's a lot harder to navigate the storyline of two characters who like don't know that they're queer and like have to like figure it out in real time, because like there you run into like contrivances where like, both of them figure it out at the same time, or how do you get like one of them to like figure it out and initiate in a way that seems organic.
T'as vu? C'est comme dans Podane.
I have to watch Podane, god damn it. Insert list of films that I said I'd watch that I keep putting off. Hey, you know who that is? Alfred Hitchcock. Celine, what are you doing in your own movie? I guess it's your first. You gotta do what you want. And maybe it's also just like my preferences speaking, but once again, I gotta say, Celine has an eye for ugly architecture. I think it's on purpose. I think she, like, hates buildings, apparently. And now she's trying to initiate the same scenario that the boy did. I'm like thinking a lot about Shakespeare while watching this, like, because they seem to be doing a lot of role playing, like substituting or recreating the role that the boy plays. Like Marie seems to be doing that a lot with Floriane, and it just kind of reminds me of like in some ways a Shakespearean comedy like 12th Night or As You Like It. And is she swimming in the guys' pool? That's another instance of her kind of like role playing gender swap. Insert Schubert's Piano Sonata in A major.
Regarde ce qu'il m'a offert. Tu me la mets?
And see, look, in some ways she's like recreating or role playing the guy in this scenario, like putting on a necklace like a boy would. And so like it's this weird kind of interplay that they're having, that she's like Maria's doing this for her in the position of the guy, but in some ways she's actually also doing it as herself. And so and so Floriane gives her necklace. It's just a beautiful transference. Or it's a beautiful transfer. And she's like pushing this issue with Marie. This is so hard because she's like not ready. Floriane wants it so bad. It's so hard. This is like, oh man, this is not something that's discussed in like, in queer films often, that I feel like in all films to a certain degree, love and sexuality go hand in hand. And so having this place at such a young age, seeing that there's a difference between love and sex and sexuality, and not that sexuality is like stigmatized, not that it's something bad to want, but that one of the parties just isn't ready yet. Like, it's like this is like really thrilling and like interesting thing to see developed in a queer narrative. And in some ways, in this, like, Adele is playing the role of the boy now, like trying to like force the issue of like of sex with her partner, with her female partner. It seems like such a straightforward story, but it's actually so incredibly layered. And it's wonderful that Sciamma has created this, adolescent sex scene and avoided making it sexy. She's avoided making it sexy because that's a weird thing to do with adolescents, with like teenagers in film anyway. But it's also, oh my god, that car alarm. But it's also like not sexy for reasons within the film itself. Oh, dude. Oh, but the handhold. Oh my god.
Attends.
lesbian love stories. They're like Kishida in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's all about the wrist lock, man. Kishida? What am I talking about?
Bon bah merci pour tout, Marie.
Who's the Rainmaker? Okada, Kazuchika Okada. Look at that ugly ass wallpaper. God damn it, Celine.
Salut.
Salut.
Oh, that underwear.
Je fais la fête de la piscine après, tu viens? Non?
You have to. Pool parties are the summit
C'est avec moi?
of high school experiences.
No.
Who the cares about prom? It's all about pool
Really?
parties.
Il est avec elle. Ils ont couché hier soir.
Ugh.
C'est pas vrai. Si, c'est vrai.
Is that why he went to her? Because he didn't get laid?
On a couché ensemble. Il est venu, il a couché avec moi. C'est avec moi qu'il couche. Parce qu'elle, elle veut pas. C'est pas grave. Il me reste mon premier baiser.
Oh, that sucks. That's why she keeps on not like making him like come close to her.
Moi aussi. Moi aussi, tu sais, j'aime quelqu'un. Je connais?
Jesus Christ. Boys in 2020. Just as careful with their mass discipline as they were in 2007. How is this car alarm going off again? You think Francoise is your ally? If you do hear this car alarm, just know it's in beat with the music. See, she's wearing the same top. It's like very evident that they're not rich kids. I just want to ask, is that an 18-year-old's like muscle development? Like if you're Mike Tyson, maybe.
Je t'aime bien en fait.
That's awesome. I don't know who you are, but good for you. Good for her. Boys will fall in love with the first person they put their penis into. Ooh. Oh, I thought she was going to go on top, but I guess the kiss makes more sense.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Rien. Viens avec moi. On est bien là.
I feel like a lot of these like relationships and like tensions are like true, like they came from somewhere in real life, but it's hard to say if all of the narrative strands are there for me to understand them all.
Je dois te demander un truc.
But like, you know, it's viewer's choice. It doesn't all have to make sense as long as you're like there for like the story for the relationships. I'm willing to make these concessions for Celine Sciamma because she is an amazing director, and the stories she tells just. Oh, what other kind of movies could you want to watch? I can't tell you how much
Tu vois,
I wish
c'était pas si difficile.
there wasn't a car alarm going off right now.
Bon, j'y retourne.
Why? This I don't understand. Why can't they just like each other?
Pas mal, non? S'il est relou, je te fais signe. Tu vas me sauver?
I feel like this is giving us some clues. But I'll speak to it further, but yeah. Floriane is like a very, very complex character that I don't even like. It seems like there are social constrictions or aspects to her character that are going unspoken that are motivating incredibly hard to understand or difficult to grapple with decisions that she ultimately makes. They're water lilies. Oh man. I'm like sad that that ending didn't go the way that I wanted it to. Yeah. Oh, damn. That was a great movie, but I think... Hey, this is Editing Hank, and I just wanted to say, I don't want to spoil it for you, but upon rewatching this movie, I'm absolutely devastated, and yeah, it's just a great movie. I think the reason my response was muted, as you'll see after this, is just because I was so surprised by the shape the ending took. I didn't know how to feel about it. Yeah, having a couple weeks to think about it, this movie blew me up. like I said, it like leaves a lot up to you as like an audience member to like participate and make judgments on your own and like come to understand the film and figure it out by, you know, using your own wits. I get the impression that I get is that the things that Floriane is grappling with, the things that like make her interested in Marie and ultimately reject her, in the meanest way possible. It's like the narrative of she's like, you know, college gay or college bi, that she's like, she wanted this experience to be her first, but then she reverts back to her like a heteronormative path when it's more convenient for her. I don't think that this movie is like aiming to condemn her in that way, and I don't think Adele Haenel's performance gives that sense, but I do think that there are kind of like social pressures that either are being like externally presented upon her, thrust upon her, or she feels like kind of like internally that she feels the need to present as heterosexual in the end. That, you know, maybe she was initially attracted or interested in Marie, and that might have been genuine, or she might have just had so many like fears wrapped up in her own sexual identity and losing her virginity and like a fear of men that she needed like a safe partner to lose her virginity to, and so that's why she did all this role play with Marie. But either way, I think the ending was sort of leading to this question of like how either consciously or unconsciously men shape and misform the narrative of female sexuality. I mean, I think this is definitely a theme that presents itself in similar but softer fashion in Portrait of a Lady on Fire. But yeah, I think part of what informs Floriane's decision-making in the end is that she has to fit into the social bounds which people perceive her as, that the boys perceive her as a sexual object and the girls perceive her as a slut. And even if on the inside her truth is something vastly different, somebody who's like extremely neurotic about sex and somebody who may actually be a lesbian or queer, the male gaze or the social dynamics are too strong for her to break free from. I think that's an incredibly complex, you know, character to bring to life, especially at that age, especially for a first film, and especially as a character that isn't the focal point of the film. I think that also leaves Marie out in the lurch. It's like kind of hard to like accept this story on her terms, because this was a girl who like kind of tried to do everything she could to get what she wanted and is like punished or left hanging for it. But I guess that's also high school. Your first one usually doesn't work out, and the best you can hope for is that they don't end up hurting you too much. Whew. Yeah, a lot of things going on in this movie. This was like in like no way as simple as like its premise would make it out to be. And there's just like a lot of underlying like dynamics at work that you kind of have to unravel. I mean, I'm sure it's easier if you've lived it, but yeah, a surprisingly difficult and yet straightforward movie. A lot of layers to it. This was the Shrek of queer cinema. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I really respect and admire Celine Sciamma as a filmmaker. Some of her movies I love. Some of her movies I appreciate more intellectually. But yeah, I don't reserve judgment on any of her movies. They're all like incredibly well made and fascinating, regardless of whether or not I get my emotional catharsis out of them. and just like extremely important queer stories for a queer filmmaker to tell. A lesbian queer filmmaker. Yeah, that was Water Lilies. I'm trying so hard to wrap my head around it. Yeah, I really appreciated this. This was like a very intricate puzzle to unravel, but I really liked it. Ugly architecture, oppressive state of men who also don't say anything over the course of the film, women's sexuality as something that's tacit as opposed to something that's stated. There's an interesting world of Sciammas. There's like the spoken and unspoken world. I mean, that's like in all films, obviously, but quite literally, there is like an unspoken opposite world in Sciamma's movies that like comes out to bear in secret meetings and exchanges that happen, furtive glances and whatnot. It's its own version of a spy movie. People in these films are all trying to figure out who else can speak their secret language, and I just think that's like such a beautiful and complex and like at times heart-wrenching story. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Until next time, keep watching good movies.